Cosenza is a very terrible geographic situation. 25 minutes Tyrrhenian Sea, 40 minutes Ionian Sea, 45 minutes 1,000 meters.
So we have, just so you know, 10 doctoral students, 1 postmaster, and 5 professors, and 1 librarian.
I'll say only in this area to move.
University della Calabria.
University della Calabria.
Okay, but
we have two.
Yeah, we're going to two day trips.
Next Saturday and the following Saturday. Going to Seabury and to Tropea and Pizzo.
Collaborating with us here because this is, I've said this to the group and I've said it, there are a couple of my colleagues here, so they've been hearing this for about 5 months now, but it really is true that this is a really historic venture here, what we're doing.
For us, it's a very incredible opportunity to enhance our collaboration with the United States, not only New York.
Yeah, right.
I have to be honest, I love New York.
This event, this summer school, we have our bridges stronger, and I'm very glad, I'm very satisfied for this.
The Italian Diaspora Studies Summer School was a 3-week summer program held at the University of Calabria in Arcavacata di Rende, close to Cosenza, from June 15 to July 3, 2015. Directed by Professors Margherita Ganeri, Fred Gardafè, and Anthony Julian Tamburi, the summer school was designed to introduce participants to cultural studies of the Italian diaspora from a variety of academic perspectives and to foster development of individual projects responding to the materials covered in the series of seminars in literature, film, and the social sciences.
I think Calabria is the perfect location for such a project. It's an area unknown by tourists, although I did meet American tourists at the beach yesterday. The site, University of Calabria, is perfect because we have the piece of the Residenza. We walk down to the campus is right there. A little walk, and you could be in a small town, Quattro Emilia, where people can get the things that they need in order to live for 3 weeks. The accommodations here are fantastic. The food in the Mensa is very good. People don't complain about, usually they'll complain about, oh, there's no food for vegetarians, but everything has been wonderful. And what happens is the group begins to build relationships here that they will then carry on throughout the...
For me, you know, I'm Calabrian and I teach at the University of Calabria. For me, this is a dream that's becoming reality. Remember, for a long time we were planning, we were talking, but we were not sure that this was gonna work well.
Yeah, I think the key to making it work is to get the word out about it. There's one of the students, Michelle Fazio, is writing an article for Franoi newspaper.
Oh, good.
Somebody else is working on producing something for iItaly. And the idea is to get the word out so that we begin to build, because it's exciting to have people from not just the United States, but we have people here from Spain, Germany, Italy, you know, and so this mixture then creates relationships that last long beyond the seminar.
All 5 courses were taught by leading scholars in the field. Faculty included Marcella Bencivenni, Margherita Ganeri, Fred Gardafè, Donato Santeramo, Joseph Shorra, and Anthony Julian Tamburi. Furthermore, several lectures were offered by leading scholars from a variety of disciplines.
The summer program here at the University of Calabria is, I believe, a really unique one because it brings together a group of scholars, both as professors and as students, from various parts of the world. We have Italian, American, Canadian, Spanish, German, who are here to unpack and explore the varied histories of Italian immigrants in the diaspora, particularly United States, but also in Canada, and to do so from an interdisciplinary perspective. People are looking at and discussing the Italian diaspora vis-a-vis its history, but also, I think, rather uniquely from its various cultural advantages. May that be vernacular cultures, cinema history, novels, memoirs, and the like. And I think this is a particularly important time in Italian scholarship, which has looked at Italian migration, but not always fully integrated it into the sort of national history. And here we have a situation where at the University of Calabria, those varied migrations and varied Italian cultures, and if we understand Italian-American culture, Italian-Canadian culture to be part of Italian culture, culture that is being created outside of the peninsula, it's being brought back here to Italy and discussed in this wonderful program at the University of Calabria.
We wish to thank the many organizations that have contributed to making this workshop possible. First, our 2 home institutions, the University of Calabria and the John D. Calandra Italian American Institute, Queens College, the City University of New York, for making it possible for us to work on the notion of an Italian diaspora summer school and for putting it into effect.
Franco, who was supported, as you know, by both the fascist regime and the Nazi regime, to win the civil war in Spain. It was within some of the cities, for example, that this was believed. So, and the other thing, it was the attack on Pearl Harbor. This also created a very different atmosphere because not only against the Japanese, but because up to that point, even though war had been declared on Great Britain, war had been declared on France, Hitler had invaded various countries, Italy, Ethiopia, etc., it was a war that was far away. The moment in which Pearl Harbor is bombed, they're here. The fear, the panic increases very, very much, and thus the reaction is also greater. Again, I want to reiterate that this doesn't justify what's happening. What we need to know is why. Why do these things happen at a certain point? And only by analyzing them, we can then coldly look at the facts and hopefully try to analyze them while they're happening instead of after the fact. So this is the reasoning behind it. But many, as I said, ethnic groups were interned, but not only, even though very few, some Canadians were interned. Now, as we said, it's very, very interesting. Technically, the big enemy before the war, and we said, Mussolini was regarded positively by Churchill, by Great Britain, by the United States, and specifically and particularly by Canada, up to the middle of the 1930s. The fascistic regime was seen in a positive vein.
Continue a little bit on our discussion on labor and radicalism. So if you have a question after we show presentation, comments, we can pick it up from there. And then the second part of the class will focus on our scheduled topic on gender and women's experiences. So I don't want to steal more time from Michelle. So I asked her to do this presentation because I thought it would really connect very well to what we discussed, or what I presented last Tuesday. So I just want to briefly say that I actually encountered great encounter in my research. So he was one of the many universities I talked about, as evidence of this hidden, kind of forgotten, now recovered role of Italian American radicalism. So I'm eager to see if I might learn something I didn't know, which I'm sure I will. And then we'll just go back to thanks, Michelle.
Is part of a special collections at the University of Michigan, and it reads Raimondo, editor of Il Proletario, with Tom, Frank, Thomasina, Albertina, Santina, Josephine, and an unknown woman to the top right, Labor Day 1939. Now, these are some of the individuals that changed their names that when I first published with Rudy Beckerly, I did not name their names, but they're outed here. So I think it's interesting that somehow this picture ended up at the University of Michigan, and I'm not sure how.
Of course, none of this could be possible without substantial support. The various Italian-American organizations, colleges, and universities have offered their assistance in the form of fellowships for 16 participants to attend. This is no small deed, to be sure. Therefore, we would like to offer our heartfelt thanks to the following organizations: American Association of Teachers of Italian, National Italian-American Foundation, Italian Language Intercultural Alliance, Italian-American Studies Association, Order of the Sons of Italy, New York, Association of Italian-American Educators, and UniCal. Queen's College President Felix Matus and the University of Calabria Rector Gino Miro Clecrisci immediately signed on to this project, an historical understanding within the realm of Italian Americana and Italian Diaspora studies. Our teaching staff further agreed to participate in the summer school more for the spirit than for the compensation.
My name is Ryan Calabretta-Sager, and I'm a visiting assistant professor at the University of Arkansas, where I teach courses in Italian and Italian-American studies, hopefully, after this wonderful experience at the University of Calabria. It's great for me, personally, to be able to visit the University of Calabria, since my grandfather's family, my maternal grandfather's family, comes from Catanzaro, which is just an hour outside of where we're here studying here in Rende. So, a little bit about the program. The program here at the University of Calabria with CUNY Queens has been an amazing experience thus far. Very intense, dense, full of some wonderful readings, but most importantly discussions. The seminar series that the 6 professors here have created really challenge the individual but also the group to consider issues such as identity, race, class structure, literature, film. We've done some analysis on all of these topics, from high culture to low culture. We have a course with Professor Shorra, who talks about vernacular culture, which is rather interesting. Being with a group of people from across disciplines, we are able to take one article apart from a variety of approaches and put it back together. So it's been really rewarding to work with people in social work, anthropology, English, literature, etc., etc. The campus has been wonderful. Even though it's been super hot, we have wonderful air conditioning. As an American, I think we all appreciate that. And because we get to live in the residenza, or the dorms here on campus, it's even underlined and brought, and I guess highlighted, our sense of community as, I don't even want to say Italian Americans, because we're not all Italian Americans by blood, as we say in Italy, but all of us who love what Italian American culture, history, and literature is all about. I think it's a wonderful initiative that should continue, and I would love to be invited back sometime to participate on the other side of the desk.
The first edition of the Italian Diaspora Studies Summer School was very successful and far exceeded all our expectations. Therefore, we have decided to launch a second edition, which will take place next June 2016, and that hopefully will be offered every summer in the following years. It is our intention to transform the Italian Diaspora Studies Summer School into a permanent and, at the same time, continually growing structure.
Oh, my name's Circe Sturm. I'm a professor of cultural anthropology at the University of Texas at Austin.
And I teach at Shawnee State University in Portsmouth, Ohio.
Yeah, so we came on this, I mean, I think we all have different reasons for being here, but I came because I hadn't had an opportunity in my career thus far to really work with a group of dedicated academics who are all dealing with the theme of Italian diaspora and Italian American studies, and this has been a really fabulous opportunity to have this exchange of both Italian academics and American academics all coming together on this topic. It's been really wonderful.
And I knew both Professor Gardafe and Tambori, but never had the opportunity to study with them. So this is my first opportunity to actually be in the classroom with them. And in terms of the Italian faculty, I never had Professor Gennari before, so it's been a wonderful opportunity to learn a lot more about Calabrian history and culture.
With the first institutional course on Italian American literature and culture offered for graduate students in Italy, the course with the name CLIA was established in 2014. And with the thrilling and stimulating program of the Italian Diaspora Studies Summer School, we wish to establish at the University of Calabria a recognized interdisciplinary center of research on Italian migration and on the Italian cultures abroad. We believe that Calabria offers the ideal geographical and cultural environment to investigate these phenomena. Underdevelopment, unemployment, economic crisis, political corruption, and the enormous power of the local, very strong criminal organization, the 'Ndrangheta, render particularly visible in the southern part of the Italian peninsula the multiple problems and contradictions that afflict present Italy and Europe. Calabria today is no longer an archaic land where nothing happens, but it is a vibrant, hyper-modern periphery where economic and social conflicts develop with explosive impact. It is precisely for its troubled marginality that the poorest Italian region might offer the possibility of a better viewing of the global world. As in psychoanalytic therapy, what happens in the margins is often more meaningful and brings insight toward the center. The history of the region has always been characterized by migration, from prehistoric times to the Magna Graeca's Greek colonization, to the so-called big migration that took place after Italy's unification, and to the present. This is why Calabria is a privileged observatory of contemporary and past migrations. For its natural beauty, for its rich archaeological and artistic heritage, for its geographic position at the center of the Mediterranean Sea, and finally for its excellent food, Calabria is surely worth a visit. In the dynamic center of the University of Calabria, international students and scholars will find an ideal scenario for the study of the Italian diaspora, living a cultural experience they will always remember.
So if you're still in this field, think about somehow or another doing something, endowment, dissertation, fellowship, or something to that effect. All right, that's it.
And it doesn't cost much. We figured once if you subscribe to all the journals in the field of Italian American Studies, it would be less than a night on the town in New York.
Someone in my department was doing a research on indigenous studies and indigenous art, got a $575,000 grant, which is a wow, but last year someone got something for $350,000, right? So I got like $80,000 for Pirandello. I don't know, just because I had to go study a few years ago.
So, but, Balzac said, what? Behind every great fortune there is a crime, right? Well, behind every great foundation, behind every great fortune there is a foundation. And you can look, and wherever you just use your imagination. The people who make the wines, they all have foundations.